All right, we're at the home of Chris and Bree Newman. Excuse me, my cedar's kicking in here pretty good. Beautiful home out here in Helotes. They've been here about 3 years. Primarily stone sided house, but we do have, it is a larger home, single story footprint, so we've got quite a bit of sidewall. So I guess probably about half the home is siding. So we're going to look at doing fascia and soffit where there is not siding. We'll still be addressing the fascia and the soffit. Gutters will be coming down. We'll throw away those gutters. They're going to get some new gutters so we can give them Chad's info and have him come out and take a look if they want. Where we do have a lot of the rock and the soffit tied in there, we're going to have to mortar that soffit. And hopefully, if we can, do a nail over. The soffit's not in that bad a shape. The problem is it's been stained. So if we try to paint over that, that's not going to work. And I think, my thought is sanding it down bare to where it's paintable probably is going to be as time consuming and as costly as just doing the soffit with Hardie. So we'll do a nail over on the soffit. Still have to do some probably minor mortar work to get the soffit back to the rock okay. But again, all gutters will be removed and disposed. Fascia overlay, it's a 6-inch fascia and about a foot soffit. So that's kind of what we're looking at. The various corners on the fascia that have they've separated. So before we do the fascia overlay with the Hardie, all those corners will be reattached, all back to good. And then we'll go ahead with the fascia overlay. We do have a porch ceiling up under here. So you can see you can't see now, it's dark. But there's a porch ceiling up under here. They like the beadboard, the idea of the beadboard porch. So on the front, small front porch, it's only 6 by 6. There's a massive back porch, it's about 30 by 10, 30 by 9 feet. And they love the idea of the beadboard porch ceiling. So that's what we'll be looking at. Again, here, still all stone, just soffit and fascia. Again, where there aren't gutters, everything's great. They had a metal roof put on not too long ago. So we don't need to do anything with the drip edge. We just got a nice little lip there for our fascia overlay. It's getting real dark. Right up under the lip of the metal drip of the metal roof. Over here again, soffit fascia, tear down the gutters. Coming over here, I did some, goodness, it's real dark. Right here on this bathroom window, that trim is practically fallen off. I could have pulled each of those 4 pieces off with my hand, so there's some significant kind of rot going on in there. Looks like they double stacked the trim and just left a gap there, so the water's gotten in between there, and it's just pretty much literally that's just waiting to fall off the house. Probably had an access door right here. The tub's right inside, so I'll have that on my list to talk about when we go inside to see if we want to keep some sort of access panel or something in case the plumbing. The house was just painted before they moved in, so you can see these 3 first boards were repaired. I'd recommend probably tearing all this off just because we don't know what's under there. The fact that they painted it told me, probably wasn't in great shape. So probably tear all this dark cedar off. Do the 7/16" plywood to the studs. Tyvek seam tape flashing all that out. As we get around to the back here, we'll look at some areas that are a great candidate for an overlay. But all this, again, a couple windows, corner trim that we see here. All that will be Hardie 1x4. This area's been pretty protected back in here because of the trees. But this, obviously, there was some sort of leak or something here where they... you can't see anything in the video. But on this wall, let's see if I can get some light. On this wall, kind of where the water softeners are, you can tell there's been some repair work or something going on there. So again, my recommendation is do a tear off on this dark cedar. And as we get around to the other areas, we can address that as a nail over. So again, soffit, fascia overlay, take the gutters down. We're not doing any work. I talked to Chris about this specifically. All this banister, lattice, the lattice skirting, anything having to do with these porches, beautiful. I mean, they got a massive, just gorgeous view out here. Out in Helotes, but basically all this stuff, a little sitting deck up there, pretty awesome. All this stuff we're not going to touch. They don't know what they're going to do with it yet, so for right now we're just gonna, our scope of work is to leave it alone. All these little awnings, Chris is going to remove those, get them out of here. before he has anything done with the siding. If it's us that comes out to do this, that will all be gone. So it'll make the fascia overlay back here a little bit easier. Coming up onto the patio, all this now is where it's white. We're going to start an overlay. We have one little area of concern right here just from a leak up top in the gutters. So we'll cut that out, replace that, and the rest of this will all be a nail over. Now, with that being said, all this trim, the window trim, door, this is actually brick mold, shouldn't be on there. Brick mold, corner trim, window trim, all of that will go away, will become Hardie plank. And basically everything to the exterior exposure will be a Hardie plank material. And I'm really running out of daylight, so probably can't see this too well, but trying to get it in here. Back here you can see the porch ceiling. Well, there we go. There's the lights. So back here you can see the porch ceiling. This would all be a beadboard material. It's about 30 by 9. It's kind of a beadboard now, probably a 3.5 exposure, and we'll go with the Hardie beadboard. It'll look beautiful up under here. Beams, you know, they have, you probably can't see it, it's a 2 by 8, you know, probably 2 by 8, 2 by 10 beam, kind of growing across. So they might want to keep that look, and if so, we can do that. We can replicate something similar with maybe an HLD trim or, you know, some sort of, or use those beams because they're not rotten and just overlay them with Hardie. That might be a possibility too, just keep the look. But that's kind of what we got. This will be going away. The lattice work will all be going away. And again, the banisters, porches, decks, none of that will be touching. And you can see it extends back over to there. So that's kind of what we got for the back patio. I'm going to basically, the doors, they're talking about maybe potential color change. So we will coat the doors as well, both the rear entry doors, as part of our scope of work. And then coming around the back, we have a little area up here with another door that if they do a color change will need to be painted, and a small wall there with a couple windows. I think we're getting into kind of the kitchen area. And then we're back to where we initially started, right here on the side. A couple more windows in the kitchen there. This is the detached garage. Whoops. So we're looking at the detached garage as a secondary option, a quote. But again, primarily siding on the garage here. I just noticed there's another house right there. Back you got kind of like this green room here, greenhouse, more siding. Up top there's probably about a 2-foot wall that extends. It's a 36 foot long building, and it's about 20 wide, 25 wide. So again, a lot of siding on the garage. I'm imagining if the garage siding was done, if they choose to do that, that a fascia overlay would probably be recommended, again because we're talking about stained wood up there. We're not going to be able to paint it, so a fascia overlay would be the proper thing. We can do garage door wraps. We got a double garage and then a single, and then above that some aprons with the siding. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Just again, apologies about the sunlight, but we got a pretty good scope of work, and at least have it on video now. And we're going to go inside and sit down. So thanks, guys.